can pierce through everything completely cleanly, just like this. You can still see the hole if I turn it this way. In fact, if I remove the paper, you can still see the hole. I'm going to show you a piece of magic that uses 3 objects. The first is a pencil. The second is a blank piece of paper folded into a zigzag. You could even use a receipt. The third is a dollar bill. Watch what's going to happen closely. I'm going to fold this folded paper over the top of the dollar bill, just like so. And I'm going to fold it around the base of the dollar bill, just like that. So you can see it's completely locked around the bill. Next, I'm going to fold everything in half, just like this. So you can see that dollar bill is locked tightly between the layers of the paper. Do not take your eyes off what's about to happen next. Look. If I take the pencil, I can place it between the layers of the paper and the bill. And on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, I can pierce through everything completely cleanly. Just like this, you can see that pencil is stabbed straight through the bill and straight through the paper. Do not look away. Watch. You can still see the hole in between the paper and the bill. If I turn it this way, you might notice there's no hole in the bill. In fact, if I remove the paper, you can still see the hole. That can be given away and examined. But look, that dollar bill is completely restored, completely clean. Everything can be kept, everything can be examined. There is nothing to hide. And if you want to learn how to do this right now, then just keep watching the video. Pencil through bill is one of the best close-up magic illusions ever created, and in approximately 1980, Timothy Wenk first published his effect called Misled. Not long after, David Copperfield performed it on national television, setting the world, and more importantly the magic community, ablaze with excitement. In over 40 years since its first release, thousands of magicians have performed Misled all across the world, and hundreds of magic creators have worked tirelessly to work on their own new methods in which to recreate this effect. There have been some incredible methods brought to the table by some of the best minds in magic. One of my particular favourites is an impromptu method called Butterbill from Daniel Garcia. There's also another version called Dough from Jay Sankey, which is just an incredible piece of thinking to make it practical and impromptu. I've even published 2 of my own versions here on YouTube that you can go and watch after the video. But one method in particular that I seen over 10 years ago stood out to me the most. A method from Ken Kuroki called Cocktail Bill Penetration, published in 5x5 The Magic of Japan by Richard Kaufman. In this method, you take a cocktail napkin, you fold the bill around it and pierce the bill between the layers of the napkin. It looks really fooling and it's really impossible, but yet very, very practical to do. So I took huge inspiration from Ken Kuroki. I really loved his approach to like the origami style puzzle of it, yet being so deceptive. And I did one thing that's kind of sneaky. I asked you in the beginning of the video, did you spot the gimmick? And that was sneaky because there's no gimmick. So if you want to perform pencil through bill, but you don't have the special props that you need in that moment, then this may be the method for you. I'm not claiming it to be the best in the world by any stretch of the imagination. It's just one more to keep in that arsenal, in your back pocket, ready to pull out at a moment's notice. The first thing you need is a rectangular piece of paper that's 20 centimeters by 5 centimeters. If you want to be exact, you can mark it so like this. And there you have it. Now we're going to put a very special fold in this piece of paper. To do that, take a dollar bill and fold it in half cleanly lengthways. And now begin by taking blank paper, place it in the middle of the dollar bill and carefully begin to fold it back on itself like this. And then remove the dollar bill and make sure that it's folded up and lining up on both edges perfectly. Then crease the bill right there. Now we're going to fold the bill back like so. Turn everything over so you can see the back with the paper, and you're going to fold this perfectly back on itself, okay? In line with the bill, making sure the edges are in line too. Now take this long edge and fold it back one more time and fold it like this. Flip everything over. Now fold it all the way up so you have some overhang here and crease it just like that. And finally open up the bill and take this final piece of paper and neatly fold it back just like so. But now take the bill away and place the creases into this paper quite firmly so that you can find them again when it's time to perform. And that's it, now you're ready to perform. Super quickly, I hope you all enjoyed the tutorial so far. If you like what you see and you want to learn even more magic tricks from myself, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's a tiny gesture that goes a really long way for me. It lets me know you're out there and excited to see more of my content. I think it also helps you override the YouTube algorithm, because these days, unless you're subscribed to a channel, it tends to recommend random videos to you that you're probably not interested in, as opposed to the stuff that you want to see. So if you could hit that subscribe button or even ping the notification bell, I would really, really appreciate it. But let's go and learn how to perform the trick. You're now ready to perform. Just for reference sake, I call this the seahorse fold or the chameleon fold, because with the curl at the bottom of this fold, it kind of resembles one. And it helps you remember the orientation when you perform. Now, the only tip that I have for this is that I don't actually stretch this out at any point to show the audience really how long it is. I want to try and keep this as folded up as possible, and that just helps with the illusion. But if you want to, they can examine this. It really doesn't matter. There is nothing to find. But I start with it like this. Next, I have a dollar bill borrowed, and I ask the audience to fold it in half lengthways. And what I've noticed is that if it's been folded this time, there's a little lip on the back edge, which is a bit higher. So I'll ideally want the higher edge at the front, and this will give me a little bit of cover later on. I'm going to hook one part over the top half of the bill, just like this. And then I'm going to hook the bottom part over the bottom of the bill, like so. But what you didn't see was the sneaky move. So now I'm going to expose that to you. And the sneaky move looks like this. I take the bill and I drape it over the top. And at the back of the bill, my thumb is actually going to fold this piece on top of itself, and that's actually going to create a little secret compartment for later on. But it's completely invisible when you do it. And then I simply fold the front at the bottom too. Okay? So now I have this secret trapdoor at the back. But when you do it at speed, and because the bill is sort of pre-folded, it's very, very hard to see, even when you know how it's done. Look, I drape this on, and now I'm just going to come over and fold it at the front. And that's got a secret compartment here. Now, I can show the back of the bill quite freely, but I want to turn it quickly. So I just turn it quick to not give them a view here. So I can just spin it around quite quick, or I can tilt it upside down, hide in this edge here. So I tilt it towards myself and show it quite freely around. Now I fold everything in half, just like in the performance. And again, I can show this 360 degrees. I can now borrow a pencil, and this is where the sneaky part comes in. It's going to look like I placed the pencil in between everything. But what's really happening is this. From my point of view, I come in and I place it in that trapdoor, so it's never actually going between the layers of the bill. But the secret to this is I just tilt it back just towards me a little bit. And now it's pretty much impossible to see that it's not actually going through the bill. And now comes a little bit of a dexterous sort of move. I'm going to pinch the bill with my thumb and middle finger right here where everything meets. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm going to use my index finger to reach up on top of that pencil. But look how good this looks. I can show everything all around. And now when I apply pressure, just like that, it looks and sounds like it goes straight through the bill and the paper. And again, at this point, I can turn it over, I can turn it around, I can show everything 360 degrees. It's such a convincing illusion. When I'm ready and I want to finish, you can pull out the pencil this way, right like this, And again, I can show everything all around and give them a good view of that hole in the bill. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to reach my finger between the layers of the bill, okay, just like this. And I'm going to open it like a book, as if I'm reading a newspaper, in fact, and show the hole right towards them. And this really convinces them that the pencil was right through the center of everything. But you'll notice I'm pinching this edge tightly closed. But this is such a great convincing moment here. And again, now I can turn it. Well, I turn it from horizontal to parallel. And now they can see, look, there's no hole here. And this moment is such a convincing moment. I can slowly remove the paper to the side or pull the bill out, depending on what you prefer. And they get to see that hole lines up right in the middle of the bill. Now in a moment, I'm going to show you a really sneaky convincer, which will just ruin your audience. But for now, one option is you can just scrumple this up and toss it or leave it on the table. But nobody cares about this, right? So if I care less about it, they'll care less about it. So I'll actually throw this towards them or crumple it up and give it to them, because once it's in their hands, they don't feel like this is the sneaky thing. Everybody wants to look at the bill or the pencil. Now everything is clean. So let me show you this really interesting convincer, which is once you've pulled the bill from here, like that, you can do this amazing thing, which is you take this piece of folded paper and you're going to rip it up to sort of convey that it's nothing but paper. But what it does is that it cleans up the method. So I rip it once in half, just on this bottom half of it, or this right half. And now if you want to, you can rip it in half again, which I recommend. But let me just show you what happens once it's ripped. When you rip it this way, all they would have to find here is a small fold of paper. But all they'd have to find here, and this is so cool, is this. Which when they try and combine it with the dollar bill again, if you fold it over, it actually becomes the exact shape of what you were pretending this was. So when you rip it off, if they try to recreate it without you ripping this into quarters, it actually becomes the exact folded paper they thought you had from the beginning, because it folds around exactly with just that loose edge to find, and it looks like it's another part of it. But I recommend tearing it up, and then once that's torn here, hold it all together, tear like this, and just scatter the paper on the table. And now when they try and piece it back together, it will go into the original shape they thought it was, minus a few extra pieces, which just look like it's part of the fodder. Very, very convincing. So I hope you all enjoyed today's tutorial. If you want to learn my best tricks, the stuff that I'll never teach on YouTube because it's too good, then head over to patreon.com/LloydB, sign up today. By doing that, you'll support me, my channel, and you'll get access to over 25 incredible pieces of magic that have never been taught anywhere else before. And finally, a very quick thank you to the over 1,000 of you between YouTube and Instagram that voted for the deep dive to be a card magic bootcamp from beginner to beast. Head over to Lloyd.tv and sign up to the mailing list right now. Immediately you'll be sent an exclusive free tutorial, and then you'll be on the mailing list, so you'll be the first to find out more news about the deep dive called Card Magic Bootcamp Beginner to Beast. I'm really excited to share more information about this with you, so head over to Lloyd.tv right now and sign up to the mailing list. Peace.